Hello and welcome back to a new Disney vlog! Welcome back to my channel, thanks for coming back. My name is Isla for anyone that's new to the channel, and I like to vlog about Disney, and I haven't done much of it yet, so would you like to join us? That's fine if you come. I haven't done much Disney vlogging yet, as promised, so here we go. I thought I would share some of my park knowledge with you today. I have got my Jack coffee and I'm ready to share some Disney info with you. Today I thought I would do my 5 top 5s. So that is my top 5 character meet and greets, top 5 things to eat, top 5 rides, top 5 shows, and top 5 places not to miss. These are my own personal preferences of, you know, things I think are really special in Disney and my own opinions. I'm sure if you know how I look online, there will be different lists on the, you know, top 10s of what not to miss. I didn't want to include things I haven't done myself because I want to give you an honest review about things. So I can guarantee that once I go back to Disney, these top 5s will change because I haven't been to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge yet. And as soon as I have, I'm pretty sure that's just going to come the top of everything, because we are a Star Wars household. There are so many characters to meet around the parks. Some of them are inside and are out for most of the day. Some of them only pop out for a couple of hours in the afternoon, so it all comes on your little map or the My Disney Experience app for your smartphone when you are there. So keep an eye on that, especially if you've got one you want to meet. So these are my top 5. I'll start in reverse order and work my way down them, and I'll just kind of explain why they're on the list. So coming in at number 5, Gaston's on the list because he is a villain. I love Disney villains, and it's so nice when you get to meet them in the parks on a day-to-day basis and not a special ticketed event. So he meets people outside of his tavern in Magic Kingdom, just kind of beside Fantasyland and where the circus is. He is a great meet and greet if you've got a guy with you. So he tends to flirt with the girls and kind of put down the guys. I've seen him on vlogs online, you know, challenge guys to push-up competitions, and with me, he definitely led me away from Gavin as quickly as he could. He was trying to woo me with his muscles. You know, he was kind of saying, you know, leave Gav, you don't want him. He was just really funny, so funny, and he was really good fun, so that's why he's on the list. Number 4 is Doug and Russell. Of course, we are an Up household, and to get to meet any of the characters from Up was really nice. Doug and Russell meet at Animal Kingdom, which is quite close to the entrance actually in Discovery Isle, I think it's called, just as you come in. They've got their own little wilderness lodge area, and you get to meet both of them at the same time, so it's 2 characters for the price of 1. Doug is really cuddly and cute and kind of runs around you, and Russell was trying to show me all of his badges, and oh, they were just, it was a really cute character meet and greet. They were really fun to talk to. Obviously they are not vocal characters, but you know, it was really nice to speak to. Just as a side note, as an Isla tip, if you are meet and greeting characters outside and it is a full bodysuit character, they do disappear roughly every 20 to 30 minutes for about 10 minutes. This is just to give them a bit of respite from the Florida heat. I'm sure you can imagine how warm it is standing there all day. So if you are waiting in line and you see them walk away, don't panic, they will come back in about 10 minutes. The guide, the cast member guide they have got with them will normally tell you this, but just don't panic if you're quite near the back of the queue, you don't hear them. They do come back, they just need to go inside for some aircon and come back out again. Number 3 is my girl, Tiana. So Princess and the Frog is my absolute favourite princess film. Tiana is my favourite Disney princess, and she is super underrated. I just love her work ethic, and you know, she fought for her dream and she got it. She meet and greets inside Disney Fairy Tale Hall in Fantasyland in Magic Kingdom. She has kind of a permanent spot there, and she was just so nice to speak to. She was stunning, and she's in her beautiful kind of leaf lily pad dress, ball gown that she's in at the end of the film. And she was really good fun to talk to. She had her brilliant kind of New Orleans accent. She was talking to me about cooking, trying to give me recipe tips, which was just so funny. But no, really, really nice to speak to. Number two. Number two is Beast. Now, you only get to meet Beast if you have a dinner reservation at the Be Our Guest restaurant in Magic Kingdom. We met Beast on our first trip back in 2016 when we went for dinner. We returned to Be Our Guest in 2017, but we went for breakfast, and I must admit the breakfast was so much better than the main meal. You got more for your money, bigger portions, which is very important to us, and it was just a completely different atmosphere. It was a bit more chilled out. It's very formal at night, so if you're going for, you know, to celebrate something or a really nice dinner, you don't mind splurging a little bit of cash, then dinner's lovely, and obviously at dinner you get to meet Beast. But if you're looking for like a kind of fancier breakfast than your buffet styles, then it was quite affordable, and you definitely got your money's worth in the morning. But anyway, I met Beast, as I say, back in 2016, and the photos that you can get with him are just beautiful because it's in his castle. The backdrop's a big fireplace, and he was just so cuddly, and he's massive, but oh, he was lovely. He kind of bows to you as you walk towards him. Such a gentleman. But no, if you're a Beauty and the Beast fan, it is a novelty to get to meet Beast in his castle. You can meet Belle. She appears at the French Pavilion in Epcot, but they don't appear together, so it's really nice, and it's the only place you can meet him, so that's why he is number two. Number one, kind of, I'll explain in a second. Kind of number one for me was Anastasia and Drizella, or the Ugly Stepsisters. They are also found in Magic Kingdom. They are behind the Cinderella Castle, and they only come out for a few hours in the afternoon. They are my number one because of just how funny they were, and because of how they played to details that they saw in front of them. For example, I was wearing my Maleficent Disney ears that I've got, the little dragon ones, and I kind of walked past them and they just kind of squawked at me and were like, "Auntie Maleficent!" And I was like, oh my gosh, they're talking to me. But they were so funny, and they were asking me all about my villainous plans, and you know, how they just thought what I'd done to Sleeping Beauty was the best, and they were so funny. And if you say anything about Cinderella, they start ripping her to shreds. It was very funny. If you're a fan of villains and you like villain things, then they were super fun to talk to. They are very spoiled, and they're just very original and comical, and they play off of each other as well. Their timing is great, and they are very funny. So if you like anything to do with the villains, that's another pair of villains that you can meet day to day in the parks. Enough number one, because you know, my true number one you can't meet day to day. They only come out at the ticketed events, for example, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And of course my true number one would be Jack and Sally, because let's face it, I'm a Nightmare Before Christmas girl through and through. I didn't want to put them as my, number one on the top 5 because you can't meet them every day. They only come out, let's say, at the events, and there is quite a wait for them. I waited roughly 3 hours to meet them. Worth it. And yeah, my photo with them is one of my most treasured photos. It was just amazing. It so happened it was the same night we got engaged, so it is a good memory for me to have. But they are my favourite character meet and greet, so I wanted to include them in that list. But I don't want to put them on the top 5 for you guys to meet because you might not be going at that time of year, but I had to include them because they were just out of this world. So magical to kind of meet them and see them in person. And again, like when they were chatting to you, they were just so funny, and I don't even remember most of it. I think I was in this daze of, oh my god, I've met my hero. Poor Gav just put us up with it. And what was even better was I managed to get Gav to wear matching t-shirts for the photo. Now, I don't think I'll ever manage that again, but you know. So that's my true number 1. Okay, we're gonna move swiftly on from the characters, and we're gonna talk about places to, well, not places to eat, things to eat in the park. I didn't want to put specific restaurants because I haven't really eaten a huge amount of them, so I don't want to review them without trying a few more. I will definitely be making some reservations on my next trip so I can try, well, as many as I can, and then I can give you a proper restaurant review. So instead I wanted to include some snacks around the park so that you can try. So we're going to come in at number 5, and that is the grey stuff. It's delicious, don't believe me, ask the dishes. So this is a snack that, well, a dessert actually, that you can get from the Be Our Guest restaurant. I think it is available all day. I do believe I've had it twice. This is a picture of it from the dessert menu from the dinner collection. To me it tastes kind of like cookies and cream, Oreo, that kind of idea. It was like a bit of a mousse or something like that. It's really hard to describe, but it was very good and I liked it a lot. And it's a bit of a novelty to say that, you know, you've tried the grey stuff and it is delicious. So if you are eating at Be Our Guest, I highly recommend at least ordering just one that you can share amongst your party, so you can say you've had it. And the presentation was beautiful as well, and it was very tasty. So number 4 is the Disney Churro, or Churro. This snack is kind of legendary amongst the Florida theme parks. The ones you get from Disney are huge, and they're just so crunchy and cinnamon and sugary, and they're just delicious. So if you're looking for a little sugary pick-me-up, then highly recommend the churros from the park. 3. So as everybody might know, I'm a pescatarian. I don't really eat meat at all. I only eat fish, and even then it's, you know, a little and often. On my first trip to Disney back in 2016, that was the year I turned veggie, and we went to Florida. I was eating meat still. So I tried the honey chicken from the Yakin Yeti restaurant, which is a quick service restaurant, and that is in Animal Kingdom near Expedition Everest. The honey chicken comes with rice and a little quick service meal, and it was just a really nice change because, you know, we've been having so many like burgers and chips and, you know, just kind of fried foods, and it was really nice just to have a bit of a change. So if you are looking for something a bit different from your normal theme park foods, then I highly recommend the honey chicken. It was lovely, really sweet but not over sweet. You know, it wasn't sickly, it was just, it was very nice. And I'm sure if you have a look around online, you will find many reviews on how good the honey chicken is from Yakin Yetis. Number 2. Number 2's got to be the Dole Whip. Now, the Dole Whip can only be found at a handful of places around Disney World. The easiest place to find it is at Aloha Isle, and that is in Adventureland. It's actually right next to the flying carpet ride, the magic carpet ride, and they sell both the Dole Whip and the Dole Float. You can also get it from the Polynesian Resort, which I do believe the Skyliner now goes to, so you know, it's a bit another option for you if you want to go for a little trip to the Polynesian Resort. So a Dole Whip is, well, Dole is the company that makes like pineapple juice. If you're from the UK, you'll be used to seeing it like in the little plastic fruit pots that come with like fruit and jelly or fruit and fruit juice. But yeah, basically that's what it is. So the Dole, the company, make these pineapple, it's almost like Mr. Whippy, but it's not as thick as ice cream. these Dole Whips, and it's this pineapple, a mixture of like sorbet and ice cream, I suppose, and it's the most refreshing thing you can have on a super warm Florida day. If you're, you know, if you're over the water and you don't want ice cream, it's the perfect thing in between, and I highly recommend it. Number one is the Instagram must-have, and that is a Mickey shaped food. Now you've got to have something Mickey shaped when you are in Disney World. You have the option of multiple things. You can have a pretzel, which I've had and are lovely. The breakfast waffles that you can either smother in maple syrup or just add it to the side of your breakfast buffet, whatever floats your boat. But the little cute Mickey waffles, and in some resorts you get to make them yourself, which is even better. And the Mickey cookies, here's a picture of Gav with one the size of his head, and it was very good. We shared this one. This came from Disney Springs. And then you've got the Disney apples, so you can get Mickey apples or you can get character apples, and it's just really like basically luxury chocolate apples, and they are just amazing. Messy, I would recommend finding somewhere in the shade to sit and eat them, but yeah, and they just make the best photos. You know, if you're one of those people that likes to take a cheeky little Insta shot of your food, these are a must-have. Moving on, I thought we'd go over my top 5 rides. So I am a total adrenaline junkie. I really like roller coasters. The bigger the better. I've not checked out a roller coaster yet. so far so good. So most of my top 5 are the bigger rides, but you know, I have done pretty much all of them there. And it's just personal preference, but I'll tell you why they're my favourites. So ride number 5 is Peter Pan's Flight, which isn't a big coaster actually. This little ride is hidden in Fantasyland in Magic Kingdom, and it is basically a ride through the story of Peter Pan. You are on a little ship that Tinkerbell just sprinkles some fairy dust, and you kind of start to float, and you see below you the story of Peter Pan with this luminescent paint and lights, and the little models are just so well painted, and it's just brilliant. It's really quite immersive actually, and it's just been kind of revamped, so all the paint's really fresh and pretty. It's really cute, fun for all ages, you know, small kids, big adults, whatever, all of you can all go on it and enjoy it. Me and Gav go on it for kind of 10 minutes out of the sun, and it's just a really nice ride. It's really pretty. You can really appreciate the kind of work that's gone into making it, and it's just really cute. Number 4 is Twilight Zone's Tower of Terror. Now, I wasn't always a fan of Tower of Terror. If you ask my parents or Gavin what it took to get me on this ride back in 2016, it was a struggle. I don't do drop rides. I have chickened out of Doctor Doom, I've chickened out of Falcon's Fury. They're not for me. I'll do the biggest, baddest coaster. I don't like drop rides. I can't deal with the feeling that you get. So when I found out Tower of Terror was a drop ride, and my mum's trying to, you know, tell me it's her favourite ride and she loves it, I was having none of it. I didn't want to go on it. However, long story short, they dragged me on. And I'll share with you in a second the photo that you get from the ride of my first ever ride of Tower of Terror, and you will see just how much terror it gave me. If you've never been on it before, it's basically based on the old Twilight Zone series that was on TV. It's a really run down, kind of shut down hotel, and the ride queue is amazing. It's outside, kind of going around outside the hotel, and eventually you get into the reception area, and there's a reception desk and sofa and fireplace, and it's all covered in cobwebs and creepy and old and totally run down. It's really well done. It looks great. You're then taken through into a library as a group, and you watch a little video of, you know, what happened to the hotel. And way back when, there was, you know, these people in an elevator and the hotel was hit by lightning. Spoiler alert, they all died. So of course you're now going into the same elevator where these people, you know, died. And the whole point is that, you know, you're the same thing is happening to you. So you're then taken down into what would have been the kind of engine room, something like that. And all these elevator doors are in front of you and you get popped into your elevator in groups. And then your elevator kind of just, you know, the doors close and you go for a little ride, and it tells you the story again about the people dying, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, you just drop like 13 floors. I was not prepared for that at all. It was a no from me. However, once I got off the ride, I decided that I really enjoyed it. I wanted to go back on again, and I've been hooked ever since. The reason it's my number 3 is because of the decoration of the queue. I love a good queue. You can pull me into a ride if it's got a good queue. It's where you spend most of your time for a ride. So if it's got a good, you know, atmosphere, I really like immersion, I like theming, I really like theming. So that's why I like it. I like it when it's a little bit creepy, and it has some of the best merch to buy at the end, so it's worth it just for the merch. And the cast members as well. They are some of my favourite cast members, the ones that get to work on Tower of Terror. They're all dressed as bellhops, like old hotel bellhops, and they kind of just stand in the corner and look at you. Like that. And they're so creepy and great, and I think I'd love to be one of those. I could definitely do that. They are my favourite cast members, the ones that work on the Tower of Terror, just because of you know, of their acting. It's great.
1939. The Hollywood Tower Hotel was a star, a beacon for the show business elite. Until 5 people stepped through the door of an elevator and into a nightmare. Now that door has opened once again. For you.
Number 3 is the Expedition Everest ride in Animal Kingdom. So this is another coaster. It's one of my favourites because, again, it's got a great theme. It's a really fun little mini coaster, and I really like the bit that goes backwards. Spoiler! Expedition Everest is loosely based on a team that, you know, have gone on an expedition up Mount Everest, and basically you encounter a Yeti while you're up there. So it's a kind of, it is a coaster, but you kind of go up inside Mount Everest, and the outside of this ride is just amazing as well. And yeah, the track's broken at the top where you eventually stop, and you think you're going to go right up and over the track, but you stop. And then you go backwards, down a hill for a while, you stop again, and you start going forwards again into a really nice big roller coaster drop, which is super fun. And there is this big kind of it's not even think he's animatronic, I think he's just a kind of figure of a Yeti that stands above you at one point, but you're going so fast, and he's just kind of like above you. So I didn't notice him the whole first year we were there. So my 2016 trip, I must have went on Expedition Everest about 6 or 7 times, and I've never noticed him. It's only when I got home and a colleague told me at work that they'd also been to Florida, you know, what did you think of all the ride, blah blah blah. And we were talking about this ride, and she was like, oh, and the Yeti's so good. I was like, what? Oh my goodness. I looked out for him in 2017, and boy did I find him. How did I miss him? He's huge. So yeah, look out for the Yeti, he is there. Don't do it me. So number 2, Number 2 is Splash Mountain. Now I know Splash Mountain is going to be going through its re-theme soon, and I am one of those people that is very excited for it. Don't get me wrong, I love Song of the South and I love the characters in Song of the South and the theming of Splash Mountain as it is just now. However, as previously mentioned, I'm in love with the Princess and the Frog and Tiana, and the fact that she's finally getting some recognition, I cannot be happier. I can't wait to go down the bayou with her and all the characters from that film, and the music on it will just be awesome. Like, I love Zippity Doodah, I do, and it totally fits that ride, but I'm also really excited for it to change into kind of jazz music as well. But not just for the theming, I love Splash Mountain because I love a water ride, especially in the Florida heat. When you're from Scotland, any bit of heat is too much heat. So a little water ride just to cool you down is amazing. So I love Splash Mountain, I love the little drops, and I love the big drop at the end. It's just a really cute, again, family friendly ride, so fun for all ages, really cute, love the animatronics. And as much as I'm sad, I kind of wish I knew when I was there it would be the last time I would ride it with Song of the South, because I almost would have appreciated it a little bit more and kind of said my goodbyes to them. But I am very excited to see how they change it and when they change it and get a shot on it. Number 1. Number 1 is pretty obvious. It should be everyone's favourite ride in my opinion. And it might be a cliche one, but if it's good, it's good. And number 1 is Flight of Passage. Now, Flight of Passage was added in with the Pandora expansion in Animal Kingdom. It is one of the Avatar rides. You don't have to have seen Avatar to appreciate this ride at all. You don't have to. It's just what, I know it is a simulator ride, but you just forget completely. I don't want to spoil the whole ride, but just to kind of tell you what goes on in it. Hello? You okay? You're interrupting. Come here. Oh, I'm telling everyone about Florida. You want to come and lie? Oh, for goodness sake. Right, go lie down. Go lie down. Now that the dogs are sorted, back to the top 5. What was I saying? Flight of Passage. Yes. So, the queue for this is always, you know, hours and hours long, and if you can get a fast pass, do it. If you can't, still do it. It's worth the wait. It is worth the wait. Our first ever ride on this, we didn't have a fast pass. We waited roughly, I would say 90 minutes approximately. We managed to jump on with the queue. That is the queue small, by the way. Jumped on while the queue was small, and it gave me a chance to, you know, assess the queue. And I was pleasantly surprised. The queue was amazing. It starts off in a cave and then you kind of move through, and it's got all the kind of scientific equipment, and then at one point there's just this avatar floating about, you know, it's kind of in a massive big glass container floating about in fluid. And it's an animatronic, it moves, it was just amazing. So I did not mind being in that queue and getting to just take in everything I could see. It was amazing. As you move on through, actually onto the ride, you're in a small kind of holding pen. God, my work's coming into my vlogs. And you're in a small holding area. And you watch a short video about what's about to happen, and basically you are about to be popped into an avatar, and you're about to pair up with your Banshee for the first time and take that first ride. If you've not seen Avatar, what that means is they're basically going to connect you to one of the really big blue people, and you're going to ride about on one of these. This is a Banshee. This obviously came from Orlando after the ride. So yeah, I think they also call it Ikram, is that their fancy name? So yeah, you're connected to one of these, and then you take your first flight with them. So that's the premise of the ride. When you leave your little holding area, you're then assigned your kind of ride vehicle, I suppose, and you've also got some 3D glasses as well. Your ride vehicle I can only explain as like a tilted motorbike. So you get on it like a motorbike, you kind of sit on it like a bike and you lean forward, and it's got like a chest support and knee supports, and then you kind of get strapped in from the back so that you're leaning forward, and then this massive screen in front of you just opens, and that's supposed to be you know, getting connected to your avatar. And then everything just happens at once, all these senses, so they spray the smell of like nature and all the sounds of like obviously Pandora, and then your legs start moving because your banshee starts breathing, and you can feel it breathing between you, like between your knees, and it's just so realistic. And then obviously you take your flight and you get to go around Pandora and see all these different things, and everything, all these different things happen to you. Nothing scary, it's totally family friendly. It's just one of those rides that's, you feel like so immersed in it, and it's so beautiful to look around and see what's there and smell all the smells, and you come off it and I was like almost in tears. I was like, that was just unbelievable. It's really hard to explain. It sounds just like another simulator ride, but I swear once you go on, you'll believe me. So if you can get a fast pass, please don't be put off by waiting in the queue. The queue is amazing. The ride is worth it. It is just incredible. And then the gift shop afterwards is pretty cute too. So yeah, you can actually get, I think, a little remote control banshee. They were quite expensive, so I went for the cuddly version instead, because I loved the ride so much and I wanted to take something home to remind me of it. We and Gavin also got quite a lot of Pandora clothing because we loved that area of the park so much. It was just stunning. So yes, Flight of Passage is a must do, so please give it a go. Moving on, I thought I'd talk to you about my top 5 shows and attractions. So these are the top 5 things to maybe go and watch or go and see, that you can see around all the parks. Again, I've not included the ones I've not seen because I don't want to give you an opinion about something I have no idea about. I've obviously watched everything on YouTube, but I think it's not the same as being there, so I've not included them. So number 5. Number 5 was really difficult. I kind of worked from number 1 up when I was writing my list and realised I had 2 things left and, you know, could only pick one. And it was picking between the Beauty and the Beast show at Hollywood Studios and Festival of the Lion King show at Animal Kingdom. Both are amazing in different ways, and it's kind of completely what you're into. I'm a massive Beauty and the Beast fan, basically because I'm obsessed with Mrs. Potts. I collect teapots, basically because of my granny, and she collected teapots and now it just reminds me of her. So Mrs. Potts means a lot to me personally, so you know, Beauty and the Beast it's always been up there. So it was a kind of almost West End style production of Beauty and the Beast, condensed into about half an hour, if that. But it was amazing. The choreography, the costumes, the singing, it was it's just so good to watch in this kind of outdoor amphitheatre kind of thing. I'll include lots of photos as I'm chatting to you so you can see the costumes. But the singing was just amazing, and no, it just tells the story of Beauty and the Beast in a really condensed, really nice way. And yeah, that's why it's pipping Lion King from a number 5 spot. Number 4. Now, as everyone knows, I'm obsessed with the character meet and greet, and any excuse to see ones that I've not seen before, then, you know, it's going to make a list. And for that reason, the Move It, Shake It Dance Party Parade, I think that's what it's called, is getting my number 4 spot. This parade happens, I think, quite early on in the day in Magic Kingdom. It's made up of 4 floats that come round to the kind of front of the castle and stop. The characters then come off the parades, and they kind of have a small kind of dance party with everyone around. So it's not so much a meet and greet. You know, you won't get a single photo with them, but it's a chance to meet them and chat to them and dance with them. And especially if you've got big kids or small kids, it's really fun to meet them. So they had characters that I've not seen before out and about, such as Frozone from The Incredibles, and Judy Hopps and Nick from Zootopia. So again, really good fun, and it's got good music, and it's just a bit of fun. Hello. So yeah, it was really good fun. So good for family of all age, and it's just a really nice way to spend kind of half an hour. If you're there to catch it, then I'd highly recommend staying to watch it. Number 3 is it's one of the end shows, and it was really hard again to pick which one I liked. I have seen a few of them, but purely because of the music and absolutely nothing else, it has to be Happily Ever After. I'm not normally a huge fan of fireworks shows. Fireworks don't do it for me at all, but the music and the projection onto the castle was definitely what tipped this one onto my top 5. The song Happily Ever After is one of my most played songs on Spotify, which, you know, can only mean one thing. And the animation that is projected onto Cinderella's castle is stunning. And because it's at night time and it's just so magical, and of course you cry, and oh, it's amazing. And it's so up to date as well, like they always must update it, so it's got the most recent films in it, which is really good as well. And it's just beautiful. It's really nice to stand and watch. It doesn't matter if you're right in front of the castle or at the other end of Main Street. You can hear it, you can see it. It's just, it's really special. It's one of those things I would highly recommend. It's very Disney. It's one of those things when you see yourself going to Disney World, that kind of sums it up. It's one of those things you see in the advert, you see in the brochure, and yeah, it's a must do. Number 2. Number 2 is a surprising one. I didn't realise this was a thing until my second trip, and we only found it because it was pouring with rain in September, of course, and it was one of the show times that was on. We're like, okay, we'll go into this and we'll get out with the rain, and we'll see what the chat is. And it's the Finding Nemo musical in Animal Kingdom, and I could not have been more pleasantly surprised if I tried. It was, again, this amazing musical production with huge puppets of Finding Nemo, and it's got original music, so it is a musical, and all this new music for it, which you can find on Spotify. And I do believe there is a link for this if you want to have a little bit of a spoiler and watch it before you go. And you can give it a watch if you want to watch it before you go. If you want to be just as pleasantly surprised as I was, don't watch it. But it is brilliant. Brilliant. These massive big fish puppets and these really talented performers, and the music was really fun, and it was an absolutely brilliant show. And I think for me now it's something I'll see every time I go, and I've totally fallen in love with it. So for something that just, you know, it was a get out of the rain, let's fill some space, it's now one of my things that it's, you know, I'll fast pass it, it's on my itinerary and it's there to stay. So as someone that loves musical theatre, I just loved the music and I loved the choreography. And number one is an absolute favourite, and I think it's because it's got a bit of everything in it, and that is the Festival of Fantasy Parade that is on every day at 3 PM in Magic Kingdom. The Festival of Fantasy Parade is the most recent parade in Disney. It came maybe, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago, maybe that long ago, and it's been running ever since, but it is brilliant, and it's got, like I say, a bit of everything in it. The floats are out there, like really out there. The outfits are stunning, and the music, again the music, it's all about the music with me. The music for Festival of Fantasy is really catchy, and you just find yourself totally engrossed in it. You know, you're there. Trying to find a spot for this is difficult. People start lining up maybe from about 2 PM onwards, and listening to different vloggers, they'll all have a different opinion on where the best place to sit for a parade is. I'm one of the Main Street people. I like trying to find a spot on Main Street, but the parade does start kind of from, I think, Liberty Square, start kind of area, so if you want to watch it at the start so that once it's past you, you can go and do other things, that's also a good idea. For example, as soon as the parade's over at your end, you can then jump on rides because the queues will be shorter because everyone's out watching the parade. However, I like seeing it coming down Main Street. I think that's the most magical part for me, is seeing it coming down that, you know, the castle's in the background, the parade's coming down in front of you, and you can get a wee seat on the curb if it's not too boiling hot. I'll include as many photos as I can from the Festival of Fantasy. It's got most of the princesses in it, it's got some really great characters in it and really good choreography. It's got our Scottish girl Merida in there on this amazing massive float that is a set of bagpipes, which it was really nice to see a bit of Scotland included there actually. And my absolute fave, Maleficent, the fire breathing steampunk dragon, which is awesome. So it's definitely something to watch. It's really magical for the little ones to see everyone in front of them. It's really magical for the big ones as well actually. Thoroughly enjoyed watching Festival of Fantasy. And again, once you've seen it once, you don't necessarily have to watch it again. So a top tip, if you've seen the parade once and you're back in Magic Kingdom, 3PL, basically from 2 till 4 is a great time to jump on really busy rides because everyone is either watching the parade or kind of stuck from all the people in the parade. So it's a good time to kind of get the outskirts and maybe jump on some of those busier rides. So moving on to my last top 5. My last top 5 is the top 5 kind of things not to miss, good photo spots and so on. So number 5 is the fountain outside of Gaston's tavern. It's also right where he does his meet and greet, but I didn't realise there was this massive fountain there. There's also occasionally a Disney photographer there, so if you do have your memory maker photo pass and there is a Disney photographer, stop in front of them. You get free photos and they're really good photos. And a top tip from Isla, always ask your Disney photographer if you can have their magic photo. That is where they put on your photo one of the characters. So for example, here is me and Gav in front of the Gaston fountain, and then we asked for his magic photo and this is what we got. Super cute! So it's just a little extra, and you can get these all over the park. Every photographer should have some sort of magic photo, and sometimes they'll just give you it if you've got quite a short queue or whatever. Then you get a couple of extra photos, but if not, just ask them. They're so accommodating and they'll be more than happy to to give you that magic photo. And I really like them. I think they're just a little bit extra, and I always ask when I go now if I can have their magic photo, and I've never been told no yet, so it's all good. Number 4 I have the worst photo of because I went with a pretty poor camera back in 2017. But in Princess Fairy Tale Hall, where there are 4 meet and greets and it's normally 4 princesses, there is also Cinderella's glass slipper. So it's just a really nice added touch. It's right as you walk in on the wall in a big glass case, and it's really pretty. And it's just a really nice little photo opportunity if you want to get that. I do believe you can go in and take a photo without having to queue. Don't quote me on that, I might be wrong. But yeah, if you're queuing to see the princesses anyway, then again, grab that photo of the glass slipper because it's iconic and makes for a great Insta shot. Number 3 is Pandora at night. So you know how much I love the Avatar area, I've just banged on about it, but I highly recommend seeing this whole area in the evening. I'm very much a theme park at night person anyway. I think it completely changes the atmosphere of the theme parks when it gets dark. But the Pandora area especially, they made this for the dark, I am pretty sure. You know as soon as you walk into it because flooring is this kind of mottled, bioluminescent art piece. There's, as you walk it, there's just all these different lights in the path, like built into the path, and it's just magical. All the plants around you seem to have lights in them, but it looks really natural. It doesn't look like they've just stuck a fairy light in it. It's just, they just glimmer, and the mountains, the floating mountains just look amazing in the dark, and everything's just really beautiful. and again with the sounds that obviously come with Pandora are just amazing. I can't stress how beautiful it is at night. Beautiful photos, and it's just really nice to take in as well. So definitely if you're in Animal Kingdom at night, just take a wee hop over to the Pandora area and just take in how beautiful it is in the evening. Number two is a bathroom, which sounds a bit strange because not somewhere you're going to miss really, or to be on a photo spot or a place not to miss. Bathroom's an odd one, but it's the Tangled Bathrooms. So in Magic Kingdom, behind Cinderella's castle in the top corner, you will see there's a little set of bathrooms and a restaurant, and just behind that there's Rapunzel's tower. So it doesn't do anything, you can't go in it, it's really just there for show, but it is a really cool photo and it's just totally hidden there in the background. This is also where the photo opportunity happens at night time, where you can hold the tangled lamp. So that's a really sweet photo, and unfortunately we missed it on both occasions. It is one of the things that's very much on my to-do list when we return next year. Number one's pretty obvious. It's got to be one of the landmarks. Now I want to say number one is just in front of the castle, you know, it's the photo spot, it's the one you don't want to miss, but I feel that lets down the other parks because they are beautiful in their own right. So I'm just going to say number one is your landmark photos, and you can pick which park is your favourite. So obviously Epcot, you can take a photo in front of Spaceship Earth, in front of the golf ball, and again, beautiful at night. And you know, that's a great landmark, it's a really cool photo. You've also got the Tree of Life in Animal Kingdom, which is my personal favourite and my personal number one. I think that is the most beautiful landmark out of all the parks, and I absolutely love it. So you know, if I had to pick, if you're gonna, you know, force me to pick, it would be Tree of Life would be my number one photo spot. You've got the obvious Cinderella Castle picture, Main Street picture, and then poor Hollywood Studios kind of lost its big centrepiece when they tore down the Fantasia hat. It does have a Chinese theatre. I think for me its new centrepiece will be the Millennium Falcon, which I can't wait to get a photo in front of, and that may just be my new favourite. But yeah, I think number one is got to be your landmark photos. So pick your favourite park, pick your favourite centrepiece, and that is my number one. And yeah, so that's it. That is my 5 top 5s. If you have any questions at all about booking a trip, planning a trip, I'm a wealth of information, and you can send me a message over on my Instagram. I'll link it below. It's Isla_who. I will probably also do a Universal one of these videos, so my 5 top 5s at Universal as well. But no, that's me. Thank you so much for watching. You can agree or disagree with my top 5s in the comments. I won't be offended. Like I say, they're very much my personal opinion. So thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked my video or you want to see some more Disney content. It will be coming your way. And please subscribe to my channel to continue seeing Orlando updates. Let's say I'm hopefully getting to Paris in September, and I'll be taking you all with me. So if you want to see some Paris vlogs, they'll be coming your way too. Just hit the big subscribe button, and yeah, I'll get a Universal one of these videos made up for you as soon as possible. But thank you so much for watching, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye!